and welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. My favorite topics are the light, happy ones where we laugh and joke, and this isn't one of those, I'm sorry, but it's an important one, or else I wouldn't keep going back to it. We've talk a lot about pro-life issues, and it's an ongoing issue, as we know. I mean, it's affecting people every day. And so I want to make you aware, the Supreme Court is going to be deciding on Roe v. Wade, or the Dobbs case, and both sides are trying to prepare for the possibility that Roe v. Wade will be overturned. So in North Dakota, we have a trigger bill where a lot of the states will go to no abortion is legal, or maybe it might be a heartbeat bill at 6 weeks. But there's other very radical pro-abortion states doing the opposite, where they want to make sure, but they're going way overboard. They don't want to just make sure it's legal. They want to make sure it's so legal that in 2 cases, in Maryland and Colorado, they have legislation that will assure that you can even practice infanticide, that you can kill the baby after it's born, believe it or not. So in Colorado, they have House Bill 1279, and it defines reproductive health care. That is such a bad, deceptive word. It's never reproductive health care.
Matter.
It's
Words
about,
matter.
no, you've already reproduced. Now it's about another person. Now it's about a baby. And it's to include postnatal and delivery care. And it means childbirth, forbidding any regulation of postnatal care means an infant born before or during an abortion or during a botched abortion or procedure can be left to die or euthanized after the physician's consultation. Now in Maryland, they have 2 separate bills. One basically is pretty much the same. It prohibits the state from being directly involved because that would burden the woman, and it compels the state interest to the least restrictive means you can't get involved with the woman. But now there's another one too. House Bill 669, or the Pregnant Persons Freedom Act. Don't you hate it now when they say pregnant persons?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, there's only one way to do this, folks.
So derangement flag number 1.
But it's been promoted online, the pregnancies of men that have been impregnated, but it's because they're transgender, and then they reverse their hormone stuff.
They're pretending.
Only women can get pregnant.
And then it's the big deal that, oh, look I'm growing a baby inside of me. And it's a big, it's so sick. It's just sick.
And I'm a man, but I kept all my female organs so I can get pregnant. Well, it just goes to show, when you go down the evil slope of abortion and you start playing God, you just get so corrupt and confused. And unfortunately, it's not just you that's affected. It's the other people around you. It's the unborn
and those babies.
It's the children. But listen to this. So with that second House bill, you cannot even investigate a baby who survived an abortion, could just be left to die without care. But then the measure reportedly goes one step further. No type of legal investigation would be permitted, or any type of penalty be applied to anyone involved in leaving a baby to die. And this is up to, it depends. For some, it's up to 12 months. And we are seeing that in Norway.
Up to 12 months.
We're seeing
after
this
a
in
baby
Norway.
Has been born.
They legalized euthanasia and assisted suicide for physicians, but in Norway, the first country to allow a doctor-assisted suicide and euthanasia, they allow it for children now. So if the baby is born with a disability or, for any reason, that's the problem. Once they allow killing, they always expand it. There's always abuses.
Why does I suddenly thought of the concentration camps in Germany, because they were looking for that ultimate perfect race. And so it made it okay to kill how many people that didn't fit the paradigm that they had formed in their minds. And so these babies, if they have a disability, if they have something, it doesn't fit that paradigm, because that's where, I'm back to it, but the Great Reset and all the garbage that goes with it, they want that perfect utopian society, and that means you don't want any of these cell masses taking up space that are going to pull on the profitability and utopia of the situation. Nobody wants to look at that kind of baby, so let's just kill it.
But let's be honest, Carmen, that's where it starts. Oh, you're doing it to be compassionate for the baby, as if, well, it wouldn't want to live anyways. Like, how dare you make that decision?
That's right.
But what it turns into gender selection, it turns into inconvenience selection, and nothing to do with the baby.
Yeah.
But you know what? This just isn't going to work out for me.
But here's something that we have never ever addressed, and when I go to battle, you know, for the right to life, people always say, well, what would we do with millions of babies? Who's going to take care of them if they're not wanted? And I know we've talked about adoption, but this is worldwide. Millions of babies are being aborted. We have to come up with an answer to how to take care of these millions of people that would increase every year. And I know that is something that's never addressed, but is always asked about. And you know, I'm a Catholic in the Catholic Church, and there's all religions, most of them are pro-life, let's put it that way. But we've never come up with an answer for that, and we have to come up with a solution for these babies too.
Well, I think it's the wrong question though, because we have 4 kids, and after each one of them, we figured it out. We didn't go into having a second child saying, oh, we've got extra money, let's have a second kid. Or we have extra money, it's time for a third one. No, we let God choose when he was going to give us those kids.
You wanted those
and then
kids.
we wanted them. But as a society, we should have that same mentality. We are going to take care of these kids. Send them. Let's have them. Let's have these kids, bring them into the world, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We can't figure it out. We can't, what am I going to do? Deny myself a Samsung watch or something? It's arbitrary. It's not about a real thing, because I'm not helping a real person, because they don't exist because we killed them.
Yeah.
So if it's a real person, we're going to change our decisions. All of us. We're changing all of our buying habits.
Two things quickly I want to say. Good. I'm glad you brought that up, Mary, because I talked with Mark Juritzma today, who's the president of the North Dakota Family Alliance, and he says that's the very topic we need to start addressing. So he will be on the show, because it isn't going to be business as usual. We need to really work at helping these women. And the other thing is, there needs to be a stronger message of a reality. Like, you can watch any movie, any TV, and everybody's sleeping with everybody else. That maybe there are consequences to that, and that's where reproductive health comes in before you reproduce.
But the other piece, to me, is we need to start valuing and talking about where our young men and older men fit in our society, what their job is, the value of fathers in households. We don't talk about that enough. It's all about the women and the babies. And it's like, how many dads out there have begged that woman to not abort? They want that baby. And the men have absolutely no rights in that decision, and that is wrong. It took 2 to make that baby. 2 ought to be part of the decision on what happens to that baby. And we don't go there in our society, and we need to start doing that.
Yeah, we need to start including babies and men in this discussion.